Welcome to this YouTube channel. Today we are going to look at checkboxes, and I have 4 examples I'm going to use to demonstrate how checkboxes work. In the first example, we have names of people who attend trainings in the different years. Our objective is to count how many checkboxes that are ticked, because that is an indication of those that attended, and also count those that did not attend by the checkboxes indicated by the checkboxes are not. In example 2, we have a scenario here where tasks are done under phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, and we want to go in and see under phase 1 how many have completed, under phase 2 how many are completed, like so. In the next example, we're going to customize the value of a checkbox. When a checkbox is ticked, by default, it returns a true, and when it is not ticked, it returns a false. So in this example, we are going to demonstrate how we can customize the value returned by the checkbox. And in our last example, we are going to draw a graph which based on these checkboxes here, where it says yes for the completed tasks, no for the tasks that are not. So let's get started. Now, if the first thing we're going to do is insert checkboxes, go under insert, click on checkboxes, and there you go. Now, our objective is to get the number of people that attended, and you'll observe that if we use the normal formulas, this one is not going to work. For example, if I use count and I count the range here, that one does not work. If I use sum and I take the range, that one also does not work. So the question is, what works if we want to count checkboxes? So we need to understand what value is displayed in a checkbox when it is ticked and also when it is not ticked. When this one is ticked, you can see the value is true, and when it is not ticked, the value is false. So that is what we are going to use to get the count. And the best formula here is the count if formula, because the count if formula takes a range and counts values in that range based on a condition. And our condition in this case is true. So when I do that, you can see it returns 1. When I click another checkbox, it returns 2, and so on. Then you can say, if I want the reverse, in other words, the checkboxes that are not ticked, so what you do, you use again the count if function, and this time when the checkbox is not ticked, the value is false. So we are saying return all, give us a count in this range where the value is false, and that one will apply to the unticked checkboxes. You can see there are 2 of them here, and the ones that are ticked are 4. Now, having done that, we can just copy our formula down by using Ctrl D, and you can see that it works as expected. Now, let's move on to the second example. This one is more interesting because it has 2 conditions. First condition is the task is completed, and the next condition is to count the values that belong to a certain phase. We have 3 phases. This is phase 1, this is phase 2, and phase 3. So we want to count the tasks that are completed in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And because there are 2 conditions, the first condition, the task needs to be completed, and the second condition, it needs to all or belong to a particular phase. So because there are 2 conditions, I cannot use the count if. However, I can use the count ifs because this one takes multiple conditions. So the first condition, the task here has to be completed. and that means it has to be true. Then the next condition is this one needs to belong to a particular, need to lock that, needs to belong to a particular phase, like phase 1. And I also need to lock this range here because I'm gonna copy it down and press enter. You can see that it counts phase 1, it says it is 2. So I go to phase 1, you see it is 2. Two of them are ticked. When I go to phase 3, also 2. And when I go to phase 3, these ones are 3 of them. And you can see what it works. Now, in example 4, we are gonna see how we can customize the value in a checkbox. Now, when you see here, the value is yes, because it is ticked. You can change this to any value that you want, customizing the value of the checkbox. By default, it will return true and false. True when it is ticked and false when it is not ticked. So the issue is, how do I customize my checkboxes? Fine. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to insert checkboxes here. So you go under insert checkbox. Then after that, we go under validation, data, then validation. We add a new rule, and we're adding a rule on a checkbox, which is right down here. I think I need to first highlight my checkbox, which are these ones. Go data validation. I'm going to add a rule, and this rule is added to a checkbox. Use custom values. By default, it returns true and false. So I change these values to yes and no. Checked, if it is checked, is yes. If it is not checked, then it returns no. So when I do that, the value of the checkbox is going to be no, because here it is not ticked. I tick that, you can see it returns true. This is how you can customize the value in the checkbox. Now, having customized the value in the checkbox, so if at all you want to count ones that are ticked, this time you don't use true and false, but you use yes and no, because now the value has changed to yes and no. When you do that, you can see it returns 3. In our last example, we are going to look at how we can draw a chart using checkboxes. And it will show completed percentage number, it will show completed number, and that which is not completed. So all you have to do, highlight those checkboxes, go under insert, and insert a chart. So when you do that, by default, it brings a pie chart. I want a bar, like so. And so it shows me true, false is this, but I can customize my values to change to true and to yes and no, because I don't want the way it looks like. So maybe before I do that, I need to go under data, then data validation, add a rule. I'm adding a rule to my checkboxes, and I'm customizing my value to yes when it is ticked and no when it is not ticked. So when I do that, you can see my chart changes to a yes and no, like this. Now the more I tick, like so, it changes accordingly. I hope this has been helpful. Please subscribe if you have not. Give me your comments. If you have a challenge, share with me and I can have a look at it. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe and see you in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you for watching.